Terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So that was a painful 4 months.
People talk about registering a business, opening a business bank account as an achievement. It's not.
Takunda Kowo and Tichaona Wadi, co-founders of Infolytics, a company based in South Africa that helps businesses of all sizes to grow and succeed using Zoho. If you don't know what Zoho is an Indian software company that was started in 2005 and has built powerful business applications that are giving Google and Microsoft a run for their money. Takunda Kowo and Tichaona Wadi are business partners who met by chance and used the only money that they had, which was 180 rands, to start and grow a business that now brings in millions of rands in annual revenue. It took them 6 months to get their first customer, and that customer came from a competitor. To say that their story is mind-blowing is an understatement. They defied the odds by starting a business with no capital and in a foreign country. They have managed to build an online business that is growing in leaps and bounds. The fundamental business lessons that they're sharing today are lessons based on problems that we're all going to experience in our business journeys. This is Smart Hustles, a series where we go deep into the stories behind some of the most inspiring startups and side hustles. I hope that this series will help you to better understand what it's like to start and run a business so that you too can take your own business journey to the next level. Thank you, Takunda Kowo and Tichaona Wadi, for coming here and sharing your story.
All right, now let's get started. So how did you guys meet?
I came to South Africa for the first time and I actually stayed with Tich. He was staying with another friend of mine and that's how we met. Yeah. His young brother is my friend. So.
Oh, okay. And at what point did you guys decide you want to get into business together?
Almost immediately, actually.
Almost immediately?
Yeah. I think almost immediately. We talked about it.
Yeah. The other thing was he had actually bought a pair of sneakers from my first business. So that's how I had known him, but I just hadn't met him. So he was a customer and then he became a friend and then he became a business partner almost immediately.
Okay, so those pair of sneakers must have been something else if you guys decided to go into business together.
No, I think the idea for me has always been I needed a business to start and supporting other smaller businesses. Hence I bought the sneakers was my thing, to say if I see a smaller Black business doing some work that I particularly like, I will buy, I will support, even if it's just 50 rand to buy the cap or whatever, or the pair of sneakers, whatever amount it was, I would buy. It keeps him moving as well. So I think that's really, I think that's when the relationship started.
Yeah.
Okay. So why Infolytics? Why software and not sneakers?
I think it's more twofold. I remember he going back to Zim and TK going back to Zim, and I'd shown him how to do a few things on ClickSense, and he was pretty interested in what that looked like. And in my head, I had already started a business. I had already got the name Infolytics. So for me, it was more a BI sort of business intelligence sort of consultancy, rather than what that was the narrow focus. But when he came back to me, he was talking about a whole lot of other things that could emanate from that. And I think that's one. That's the second reason is our cap business and our apparel business wasn't going so well. So we also needed to do something which we used our skills a lot more.
Yeah. So essentially, the three of us at the start, and our skills tended to match the products that we then focused on in Zoho. So that's how that came about. So it was what we were good at. We're trying to start a business that wasn't capital intensive, and then use our skills to build up that business. So
how did you guys raise funding for your business? How did you put money together to say, let's do this now?
No, we didn't. Tish had 180 rands and we paid for a domain. That's how we started.
So you started a R1 million business with 180 Rand.
Yeah, eventually, yes.
Yes, essentially, yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I funded the first phone call to another business because
Yeah.
TK didn't have airtime, so I put airtime on his phone and put down $200 in the business account, and we're done.
Okay, so how did you get your first customer?
The other business that we called had a customer within the region, within this region, Gauteng, and they couldn't service them, so they offered us to service that customer, and that's how we.
That's how it started.
Yeah. So the first phone call I was talking about was to a business in the same. So you could essentially call it a competitor, but we managed to strike out a partnership and get a customer, and they gave us a customer to serve. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting. So what strategies did you then put in place afterwards to start, growing your customer base?
I think the one thing that we did very early was we joined BNI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So BNI is Business Network International, so a global networking organization. So essentially what that does is it puts together a whole bunch of businesses, and Zoho was not known, where a lot of businesses then, where you have an opportunity for 30 seconds or a minute, if you are a member, to talk about your business, to say what your business does. And then if someone likes what you're doing, they can give you a call, and then you can have a more detailed conversation, what they call a one-on-one. So I think that helped us a lot because we started picking up, I think Neogen came out of there because the lady was at BNI that I talked to, and various other businesses also have come out of there. Even right now, we still, we're not members anymore, but we're still getting referrals from BNI. Simply because of that 1 year. And I think it was we spent 6,000 Rands. So it works out to about 500 Rand a month. I think those are the best 6,000 Rands we probably have spent in terms of getting traction.
And how long did it take for you guys to then say, I think this strategy is working, this business is something that we can push for the next 5 to 10 years and really try to build something that lasts?
So I think it was pretty much instant, because the account that we got first was not small in terms of what we had thought about. It wasn't small at all. And then the second one was even bigger. And the second one was Northwest University, and they paid everything up front, which actually, so for me, it was pretty much within the first few months, I had concluded that, yeah, we can actually build this into a bigger business.
For me, it was more the product itself. As I looked at it, as I expanded on it, I mean, it gelled into my thinking of what we could do for a business. One, we're playing in the small and medium enterprise space. We are a B2B business. We are small, medium enterprise space. It just made sense. Kind of licensing costs, the kind of everything just ticks all the boxes, and the kind of applications it has definitely helped us gain a lot of traction.
And just to add on to that, because it's you can run your into a new business, so that's what makes it special, I guess.
All right, so you guys are now in Zimbabwe. Congratulations with that. How is that market going? How is it different from South African market?
Well, I'll say very different.
Yeah.
Most of our team is based here in South Africa, which adds a little bit more, you could say, difficulty in being able to sell within the country. The other thing is ability for them to make foreign payments adds to those issues, and all licenses would be are paid in foreign currency. So it adds on to the difficulty. But we are gaining some traction, probably not as fast as we did here, but we are getting there.
Okay, and why Zimbabwe? Why not Zambia? Why not Namibia, Lesotho? Why Zimbabwe?
I think because we understand the market as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both from there, and we both understand the market. I mean, I didn't work a lot of years there, but TK probably has a better understanding than I do.
Yeah, we do understand the market, including its difficulties, which I mentioned before, which makes it easy. And you also want people at home, businesses at home to succeed. So, yeah.
Okay. So what sort of challenges have you guys faced, like, particularly at the beginning of the business? What sort of challenges did you guys face?
For me, for our type of business, it's obviously, I think it's twofold. One is to get the business itself, get a transaction going. I mean, the sales cycle for most of the sales cycle for changing a system is probably is long. It probably takes a business probably 3-4 months to decide, yeah, we want to go ahead. So you need to have a longer funnel in terms of having to talk to a lot of customers so that when they do make a decision, you keep that rolling. So getting in front of people, first of all, was very difficult. Secondly, it's about getting payments done even after the work is the difficult thing because businesses are struggling. And so sometimes our debtors days just look way too big, too long. For our type of business, it shouldn't be more than 30, but we're way above that. And obviously, I think the third and most important thing is there is no skill in SA for the type of things that we do. And we need to develop that skill base within our space. I think those are the three things for me that make ramping up this business or those difficulties in the beginning, obviously.
Yeah, the last one being a major one. If you can't build a team around with the right set of skills, then getting the products out to the customers or the bespoke, because one of the things that we do is we customize the product to fit every company's processes, and you need a team around you that has the skills to actually customize the product to the customer's needs. So yeah, that would be the major challenge.
Okay, so now we're in the second year of the pandemic. How did the first year affect you? I'm hoping at least the second year, it means that a lot of lessons have been learned and things are getting better. But how did the first year affect you?
Terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So we actually, when the pandemic hit, we, I guess, through some, you could say, foresight, if you will, we took down our salaries to half salary in order to brace ourselves for the coming pandemic. Because I think when it was announced that South Africa was going into lockdown, where the number of cancellations in terms of customers who were about to go into business with us. And we immediately detected, okay, there's going to be an issue here as soon as lockdown in South Africa was announced. So because of the cancellations, we responded by immediately going to half salary for everyone in our team so that we could actually brace for ourselves for the pandemic. And then I think we were like that for the next 4 months until business started picking up again. And we started getting more contracts. So that was a painful 4 months because we're working hard to get sales. And when we would get them, we're trying to service the customer, but with essentially a more demoralized, with a lot of uncertainty there, whether people were going to keep their jobs, but we managed to keep everyone's job over that period. So that was the good thing that came out. But
okay, so you guys are full-time into this business, correct?
Yes, 100%.
How many hours a day would you say you put into every single day for both of you? Like, is it an 8-hour day, a 24-hour day? How does that look like for you guys?
It's definitely way more than an 8-hour day. Although this year I think is better. Tish, you can confirm. Last year I think we're going maybe 14 or more hours. Maybe right now we're going maybe 10 to 12 a day.
Yeah, I always think about it as our business is 18 months a year, sort of. Sorry, right now, like an 18-year-old baby, you put in a lot of more work. Initially cuts down to 10, 12, but it's still there. You still need to tender to it. You still need to, it's not running by itself. That's definitely one thing. Me and TK need to put in the hours anyway to get it up and running, to maintain what we have and to scale the business, in fact.
Okay, so do you guys believe in the rule that, you have to wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., since both of you are founders and the executives of this business, do you start your day at 4 a.m.?
I like working early in the morning, so I do wake up that early. But that's because of what I do. For me to do any work, I probably need to wake up before the customers wake up and put in whatever I need to put in. Because
and then I'm almost the opposite because I wake very late at night. So
okay, so what personal sacrifices have you guys had to make to ensure that this business succeeds?
Well, so personal sacrifices was that we've been offered jobs and we didn't take them. So,
yeah,
that would have paid way more than what we are paying ourselves currently.
Which business goals have you achieved so far that you guys are most proud of?
I think to reaching our first million. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys are saying you're so casually, like that's just R1 million.
Yeah,
well, the thing is we meet don't think that's money, so
yeah. Yeah, the business that we do work for think that is chump change.
Yeah, but I actually, in my opinion, the best thing that I think we did was to, at the moment, I think we've got the right pieces around the business. So I think that's one of the best things that we did, is to put the right people around what we can do, because no matter what it is, we've got the skills internally. Customer wants this, we've got the skills internally to be able to make that work for them. And I think, yeah, and the other thing that I think we've done is experiment. We experiment a lot, so meaning that we tend to, a lot of our experiments don't work, but those that work tend to push us a little bit more forward. And I think we're going to keep doing that, because it seems to work for us. We try new things, we fail, and then we move on.
Okay, so how do you guys handle disagreements in your business or differences in opinion?
We go inside and go into a room and we hit each other and then we decide to do.
So is it like a boxing room type of type of situation?
Yeah, we go beat each other up. So sometimes when you see a black eye that he has, it's after I landed one.
In terms of what I've noticed though over time is, I think we've become more and more in sync. Where we disagree on a lot of things in the beginning, we seem to be more in sync as we move across. I guess is that what do they call it? Where they're storming, norming. So I think that's what we've mostly gone through, and I think we're mostly in sync. So I can gauge when something comes across my table, what our Tish would think about it and approach that. So I think we're developing a set of values that help us make decisions quicker with less friction.
Okay, so what sort of qualities do you think? What is the reality of starting your own business? What if someone wants to go into business?
And I've always wanted to say this. People talk about registering a business, opening a business bank account as an achievement. It's not. It's that's the easiest part of. For us, the biggest thing that I think that you have to worry about is, do you have the product and can you create that first transaction? Get someone to trust you to say, here's my 10 Rand, go ahead, go and do the work that you said you can do. For me, that's the biggest thing that you have to do in any business. And you do that every day. Every day that business is alive, you must be able to do that, to convince a person or a potential customer that, give me your tool, I can do this work, and don't go to Joe's shop next door.
Sure stuff. So I agree, and I want to also add one more thing there. I think the biggest thing is how resilient you have to be prepared to take in the pains. You're going to get a lot of rejections, which is a pain in itself. When you do the work, you're going to struggle a lot to get the work done, which is a pain in itself. Yeah, you need a lot of resilience and patience as well. Whatever efforts you're putting through, things will probably work out. And also, there's a lot of things. There's also the issue of knowing when something is not working or is working, and whether to continue with it or stop. For some things, you may continue in being resilient in, but they are actually being detrimental to your business.
Okay, so knowing what you know now, what would you do different?
I don't think I would do anything differently. We didn't do, not to say we didn't do much wrong, but look, we started on, we have a product that you can basically sell our skill, and that we've acquired that skill over X amount of years. So we don't have our cost of buying the skill. We've done it already. So we've got the skill. We need to sell it. We don't have a cost of sales, so which is brilliant for us.
Yeah. Plus, we are still learning, so we may have more information later on about what would do different.
Okay, so I guess we'll come back and revisit this question after 5 years.
But there's always other little things that, but maybe not on this platform, that I'm like, we should have pursued this at that particular point, but maybe we didn't have the skill at that time. There's one or two customers that we met earlier on in our journey, and or potential partnerships which we didn't execute that well. And I think it was probably more to do with we didn't have the skill, and at that time for what they wanted for us to do. So maybe one day we need to revisit those guys and say, hey guys, we're here now, we're back, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So what have you guys enjoyed the most about starting your own business?
Okay. There's one thing that I used to do that I no longer do. When 10 Rand or X a customer pays money into our account, I would phone TK and always tell him, do you want the good news or do you want the bad news?
The funny thing is, actually
getting those bank notifications that money is coming.
Yeah. We used to enjoy those.
The one thing I think I have enjoyed, weirdly enough, is the struggle. You strive for something, right? And then you finally get, and then you, whether it's a project that we've closed or a client that we've won, that satisfaction at the end of that struggle is always enjoyable for me.
Yeah, okay, I agree with him there. They are just being facetious, but I totally agree. The whole journey of trying to acquire customers for me is the most interesting. I think, as they always say, the chase is better than the chase is more interesting. And for me, that's what I live for. I think I'm that kind of junkie that I wake up and I want to chase.
So what's next for Infolytics? You guys are doing Zoho, you guys have ventured into digital marketing. So we can see that there's a lot going on in terms of trying to integrate businesses and the services that sort of speak to each other. So what's next for you guys?
Well, I think the key thing that we're doing now is we're developing industry-focused product, whether it be for real estate, accounting firms, and health institutions. So I think that would be our focus. What it allows us to do is to give a very specific product to a very specific customer and allow us to scale at the same time and give them the best out-of-the-box product, which we can still customize for them if they require it. So I think that's our next big phase. That's what we're working on.
And also add to that, I think, and I've had these conversations with a lot more clients. Recently, I've had a pretty big telco person, a person who is in the telco industry, that a lot of South African small businesses do not, and it's my particular bias, I think, do not analyze their transactions as much as they should, right? And I think we are getting to that stage where, people talk a lot about data and what data can do for your business, that a lot of South African businesses will start looking at that more critically. And now with our Zoho product, we've got the tools. We have Zoho Analytics, we have data prep, and we are ready to take on. And that will probably be my focus next year, or from end of this third quarter going forward, to try and sell more of that sort of products, because then we have a more captive audience in terms of, and the decision making is faster, simply because you're targeting the execs. And so once they see their need for that to stir the business, the decision making cycle becomes way shorter than what is happening right now.
Okay, I think there's a question that I almost forgot to ask. You guys are both Zimbabwean, and you relocated to South Africa. The fact that you're not South African citizens, or you're not South Africans, has that affected your ability, do you think, at any point, to be able to grow your business or acquire customers?
No. I think customers mostly are interested in is, are we able to get the job that they need done?
But also, I think it's also a very good backstory. You sell a relationship when you're in business. You sell a relationship, and the fact that you are from Zim and you can say, I swam across the Limpopo to come to South Africa, is a good backstory.
Yeah.
So people have you have something to talk about. You have a point of departure, and people get interested in who you are and where you are. That look, you're here, you're not looking for a job, you created a job, you've created work for yourself, and you're going to employ people. So for me, I've never seen it as a disadvantage. It's a good backstory. People relate to other people, and when they see you putting in the hours, they see you working hard to do things, they want to be part of that process. So for me, it's never been an issue.
I think from that you can tell who does the sales in this organization.
No, I can see someone is selling dreams, he's selling the struggle, he's selling everything. Okay.
That's
all right, guys. Thank you so much. So how is that? Did it feel awkward Tense?
Very, very, very awkward.
Very awkward to review.
Thank you so much, guys.